were looking at the male pig, and we could tell it was the male pig because we were looking for, you know, sort of the scrotum down here. And if I look at her, she looks like she's a little baggy down there too. But what she doesn't have is an external urethral orifice or preputial orifice here. So there's nothing there because she doesn't have a penis to come out. And what she does have is underneath her little tail, she has a genital papilla here. So this is going to be, so papilla is a nipple, looks like a little nipple there. This is the opening to the vestibule. So she doesn't really have like labia major and minor. It's kind of all together in this particular area. And then her anus opening is not in the same area where the opening for the urethra and the vagina are. It's going to be back here. So, you know, if you're trying to sex animals like cats and dogs and pigs or whatever, for the babies, you know, you can look for the two openings for the females, and then the males again will have an anus, and then they'll have the urethral or femoral rather. We're going to find her reproductive organs, and they're kind of sitting in here like this. So I'm going to grab them right there. This is another way I know it's a girl because boys don't have this kind of stuff. So go ahead and everybody kind of move around and look at those. You can see the one I'm pinching with the tweezers, and then there's another one on the other side. So this is going to be like the lateral horn, the ovary, the fallopian tubes are all in this mess of tissue that I have right there. So again, if you can't see it, please, you know, push your way in and take a peek, and then I'm going to show you each of the individual things there. Show you this. I'm going to take some of the connective tissue and kind of tear it apart a little bit so I can follow the urethra down a little bit better. I'm going to stick my probe underneath there. I'm going to put my fingers on the bladder, and the probe is on the urethra. So come and take a look at this. So again, fingers are on the bladder, probe is on the urethra. My two fingers, kind of the ovary and fallopian tubes, and then I'm going to stretch out so you can see this thing that looks like a Y. And the thing that looks like a Y is going to be pretty much most of my uterus. So I'm going to have, I want you to hold this right here, okay? So Emily's going to put the probe on one of the lateral horns of the uterus. So guess where the other lateral horn is? Right there, yep. And then the body of the uterus is going to be right here, okay? So you're going to point to the two lateral horns, 1, 2, and then the body. The ovary here. The fallopian tubes are the teensy tiny tubes that are on to the side over here. So they're very, very small. But remember, this is a little pig, right? Okay, so if you didn't see that, come back. My finger is squeezing the end of the lateral horn. Right now, between the tweezers is my ovary. And on the side here, the little teeny tiny tubes are the fallopian tubes. Okay? Move again. Are the fallopian tubes, but they're not. Fallopian tubes are teeny tiny. Got it? Okay, so we got the ovary, we got the fallopian tubes, we have the lateral horn, we have the body. Then we're going to get to the vagina, and you'll be able to tell the vagina because the texture changes. So the body of the uterus is kind of squishy, and then all of a sudden it feels a little bit more solid. So about here where it gets more solid is going to be the start of the vagina, and the vagina is going to move towards me, but it doesn't go all the way to the end. All right, so I'm squeezing the vagina right here. So if you can't see that, come and see it until they don't pull very anymore. Okay, so you'll be able to tell where that is. They'll pull apart for a while, and then they won't. Where they no longer pull apart, this is going to be the vestibule. Okay, so I'm going to have you poke at the vagina. I'm going to hold the urethra, and the tweezers is going to be on the vestibule, okay? So my fingers are holding the urethra, Emily's pointing to the vagina, and the tweezers are on the vestibule, okay? So again, if you can't see that, but when I poke around like this, she doesn't squeal, so I'm not quite sure where it is. Is if I put the pin in the lateral horn, you might say lateral horn of the uterus or body of the uterus.
Okay.
Yeah.